Just say I'm like, okay, it's we're in a weird spot when exorcisms are less upsetting. But I think exorcisms are kind of fascinating, so let's go.
First off, did you know that according to the Dublin Catholic Church's communications office, that the Catholic Church requires every diocese to have a trained exorcist?
I thought they had moved away from that, but that's interesting.
No, they haven't. So in 2022, there were about 150 trained priests in the United States who were trained to perform them. And thankfully for us, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops made frequently asked questions about exorcism. So thank you, the
Thank you for
Conference
having
of
a
Catholic.
communications department.
Yeah, thank you for having a communications department and doing an FAQ just so we can get some things covered. Again, this is going to be exorcisms from the view of the Catholic Church. We're
Right.
focusing just on the Catholics. So, what would you define an exorcism as? If I said, Diana, what is an exorcism?
An exorcism is when a religious person or not, I guess, but I'd say I go by Catholic background. So when a priest uses their religious tools of prayer and other things to expel a demon from a possessed person.
Sort of, but the Catholic Church makes it a lot more vaguer than that. They say that an exorcism is a specific form of prayer that the church uses against the power of the devil. So those are some very specific but vague words, right? Exorcisms are divided into two kinds. There are simple or minor forms of exorcisms, and those can be found in two places. First, for those for preparing for baptism, the rite of Christian initiation of adults and the rite of baptism for children both call for minor exorcisms. So,
Huh.
my interpretation, because I didn't have time to follow that rabbit hole, is that when you're getting baptized, and if you're a godparent, or if I guess if you're an adult, so if you're a godparent, they ask you, do you abjure Satan and all of his
Right.
works, right? I think
So is that a
maybe
mini exorcism?
that's a minor exorcism, right? Because you're going against the power of Satan, right? Or they say,
Right.
like, I protect this child against Satan. So maybe that's how that works, right?
Huh.
So that can be done by the clergy or by the lay faithful, right? So these are minor things that are only for like mini Satans.
Mini Satans?
Minor or minor Satans. The second kind is the solemn or the major exorcism, which is again, this is all straight from their shit, right? So this is a rite that can only be performed by a bishop or by a priest with the special and express permission of the local ordinary, and this is under code of canon law. This form is directed at the expulsion of demons or to the liberation of a person from demonic possession. So that would
Right.
fall under what you were saying as a definition, right? So this is the major form, is really we're working either to expel a demon from a person, a place, or a thing.
Yeah.
And one of their FAQs, may anyone receive a major exorcism? The following are able to receive the specialized blessing if it is determined necessary. 1. Catholics. 2. Catechumens. 3. Non-Catholic Christians who request it. And 4. Non-Christian believers, provided they have the proper disposition, meaning they are sincere in their desire to be free of demonic influences. In cases involving a non-Catholic, the matter should be brought to the attention of the diocese bishop.
Hmm.
So I read that as anybody.
Yeah.
Because I think you cover all your bases. Like
Yeah.
you and those who aren't you.
Yeah. All the people.
All the people. Okay. So how frequently is a major exorcism performed? Quote, the frequency of exorcisms of this sort is determined by the credible need for the rite. That is why establishing a diocesan protocol is important. Through the centuries, the church has moved cautiously when evaluating alleged cases of demonic possession. The reason for this is not to deny access to members of the faithful who are in genuine need. However, the church is equally concerned that individuals not get caught up in a sensationalist mentality and thus create a sideshow affair. Although rare, genuine cases of demonic possession should be addressed in a balanced manner with the utmost care being intended to the afflicted person.
Damn. They didn't answer that, but they basically said, we're not making this a fucking sideshow.
They lawyered the shit out of that. So I get what you're saying here. We need protocol. Y'all can't decide stuff. Like, we need to have rules and regulations because Peggy fucked it up. Like, someone fucked this up. This is why we have rules and this is why we have a protocol. So how does a priest become an exorcist? So a priest may be appointed to the office of exorcist either on a stable basis or for a particular occasion ad octem by the bishop. And I'm going to stop trying to say the word diocese, whatever. So diocese,
Diocese.
diocese.
Diocese is
The
it on its
diocese.
own, but diocesan, yeah.
I don't know why I've lost the ability to say that word. Probably Satan. So either way, that the exorcist should work closely with if they're not a bishop, you've got to work with the bishop. But the next question is, how are exorcists trained and prepared for this ministry? Classically, the exorcist has trained for the specialized ministry through an apprenticeship model, working under the direction of an experienced exorcist. Additionally, in recent years, several programs have been established to foster the training of exorcists. And you know I'm going to get my hand on that fucking program.
Oh.
So, what, if any, rights in this text may be formed by the lay faithful? A lay faithful is if you're not a priest, right? So,
right.
Just like if I was a standard Catholic, right?
A practicing active Catholic.
A practicing Catholic.
In good standing,
yeah. I don't know if you had to be in good standing. You didn't say that.
Was it church? I thought you did.
To be a lay faithful, I don't know. Like, who says? So, as they said, as mentioned previously, the rite of major exorcism is to be administered only by an authorized priest or bishop. If it is deemed useful, members of the lay faithful may be present for the rite, supporting the work of the exorcist by their prayers, either recited privately or as instructed in the rite. So you can have like your own like special part that you say, but there's only parts that only like priestesses can, not priestesses, but priests. Yeah. So
not priestesses.
No, unfortunately, not. I don't know, maybe in the future, but not right now. No priestesses. So but speaking of the female variety, it is noted that when an afflicted member of the faithful is female, there should be at least one other female present for the sake of propriety and discretion. At no time should the exorcist be alone with an afflicted member of the faithful, neither during consultation nor for the celebration of the rite. I am not sure for whose safety they said that for, but
yeah, I mean, because there was some like, oh, I'm so possessed, Miss Father, the demon.
Many ways there. There's many ways. So what ritual symbols are used in exorcisms and what do they symbolize? So in addition to the use of the Psalms and Gospel readings and the recitation of the exorcistic prayers, a series of sacred symbols is utilized in the rite of major exorcism. To begin, water is blessed and sprinkled, recalling the centrality of the new life the afflicted person received in baptism and the ultimate defeat of the devil through the salvific work. Salvific? Is that the... Okay, sure. The imposition of hands, as well as breathing on the person's face. There's a word, exsufflation. EXSUFFLATION. Exsufflation by the exorcist reaffirms the power of the Holy Spirit at work in the person as a result of their baptism, confirming him or her as a temple of God. And then finally, the Lord's cross is shown to the afflicted person, and the sign of the cross is made over him or her, demonstrating the power of Christ over the devil. So basically, you get water thrown on you, and somebody breathes in your face, and they put their hands on you, and then you get shown a cross, and then they make a cross over you. I've met a lot of priests that let them have good breath. I'm just saying. Okay, so how may an exorcist ensure that an exorcism is not perceived as a magical or superstitious activity?
Ooh.
The exorcist himself can serve as a catechist in this matter by the way he faithfully administer the rites as provided by the church in her wisdom. Fundamentally, the rites of exorcism. I think it's interesting. The church is a woman, anyways. Fundamentally, the rites of exorcism are just one way the church tends to the pastoral care of souls, even souls not of her flock. However, the more obscurely and mysteriously the rite is portrayed, the more magical and superstition the perceptions become. Given the superabundance of confusing and inaccurate information available in the public arena surrounding this particular topic, the manner in which this reverse rite is announced provides for a teachable moment to believers and non-believers alike. And I'm going to say, I am sorry, you are chanting things or wearing a special outfit and drawing symbols. How the fuck is that not a spell? But basically, they're saying if you get too flashy doing this, it's gonna look magical. So you need to like
Keep it
down,
straight,
bro.
Jesus-y.
Keep it like don't like
Keep no flourishes.
like keep the power of Christ compels you at like inside voice.
Try it in English, not Latin.
Yeah. So that was a Catholic bishop site, and to wrap, we have one more slight divergence before we get back to no, I just didn't want to get back to the episode, so I was like, no, just gonna be one more thing. All right, so aside from the Catholic bishop site, I went down the rabbit hole that is St. Michael's Center for Spiritual Renewal, a profit Catholic organization. They train people to be exorcists.